following is a production of Watlington Shires and Pierce Productions.
Here we go. We're ready live. Rick Meeks Show is on.
There's the Rick Meeks Show live here from the pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Of course, we did not have a game. We were on our poultry festival bye. So, we talked about Madisonville last week, and I mean, what a great game. And just to refresh everybody's memory, it was nip and tuck all the way down the end, and we kick a. How far was the field goal, Coach?
38.
38-yard field goal for the victory. So, Coach, we're just going to get right into it and talk about we're halfway through the season, about to start district. Uh, what are your thoughts about where the football team is?
Well, I'm definitely excited for them and what they've accomplished up to this point, and winning the games that were in front of us. You know, uh, we still have a lot of things that we've got to improve on, and but really and truly, the biggest thing at this point in the year is we've got to avoid complacency. We've got uh, to not let selfishness set in, and we've still got to hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
And those three things are going to be huge moving forward through district and starting this week. And um, so where we're at currently, that's going to be great for us to celebrate when the banquet comes along. But at this point, really and truly, it doesn't really matter, right? We got to move forward and just continue to get better and work on the things that we know we have to work on to continue to improve.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the kind of the next step. We learn how to deal with adversity, but it's also important to learn how to deal with success, right?
Right.
And because if you rest on your laurels because you've had success, then disasters are just right around the corner.
Absolutely. And that's what I was saying. We can't get complacent. We've got to continue to work on the things that we know that we have done a really good job of that has allowed us to have success, um, and understand that the details and showing up every day in the right mindset and the accountability side of it is why we've had the success we've had, because I mean, we haven't really just played perfect games. We've won games because we have played 4 quarters. Strength and conditioning has kicked in. We've done things because of the guy beside me. Those are the things that you have to do on a Friday night to be successful, because good things happen, bad things happen. How you respond to those, how you move forward, that's when you win games. And so we've just got to understand that it didn't happen because we're just always making plays and we're just so much better than the opponent. And that's not the case. So we've got to avoid complacency, and we've got to continue to hold each other accountable and keep getting better, and just kind of stay along that path.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, I had to ask you, you got a little time off here and you had a little bit of a break, but how's the weight room mentality and the guys getting in there? Because that's a big, key, important part of it here, especially coming down the stretch, getting in that fourth quarter. It's who has that weight room mentality right now. And so how are the guys coming on with
Yeah,
that?
they're good with it. We have really good. Our demeanor in there is good. We live 3 times a week in season. We went to 2 last week, being the bye week, and we were out of school on Friday.
Hmm.
But we were back in there today, and we'll be in there Wednesday and Friday. And so we go Monday, Wednesday, Friday in season. We do lift on game day. We're a big believer in what that does for our central nervous system on a game day. But the kids have bought in. I've basically done that now for 4 years, and they see how it has helped. So they're bought into it, and our demeanor in the weight room is really good. So
Good. I like to hear that.
um,
That's a
Interesting.
big
I
part.
didn't realize. So you lift on game day.
we do,
That,
we do, sure do. Yes,
is
sir.
that something that you've always done, or is that something that you incorporated into your coaching philosophy?
It's something that I've done since I've made the decisions. So 7 years ago, when I started in Alto, we would that was something that we incorporated and would do. But um, a lot of research that I read through up
Uh
until
huh.
that point, and then now I can see the difference in those teams over the last 7 years, as opposed to maybe when I was other places and we didn't do that. And so, but it does a lot for your central nervous system in terms of getting yourself prepared and ready to go. I'm a believer, but we've also seen the results,
Yeah,
and so the kids are
we have,
too. So it's
proof of concepts.
So,
right.
so is this like an all-out lift? I mean, max like you would normally just pump it all out, or you just have a set way you don't want to get too much on it.
So it just depends on where we're at. So and it's actually evolved. It's evolved from where we started to where we are now. If we're at home where we have access to our weight room, the lift looks one way. Last year, so up until last year when we were on the road, we didn't do anything with it. Well, so last year I was like, we still, even though we travel, we've still got to activate the central nervous system. And so what I did was I would contact schools that were along the way on the trip. So let's say our trip to Canton last year, um, I contacted Lindell. They were nice enough to let us swing by, use their weight room.
Cool.
So we got off the bus, used their weight room. Um, they went on about their business because they actually had a game, which is what made it even nicer. I mean, they had stuff they had to worry about, so they let us in. We got in there, lifted, we cleaned everything up, locked everything up, got on the bus, went to Canton. But there was a time frame in there that you want to do it.
Right.
Um, and so they worked with us last year. Coach Fuller at Kilgore helped us on one of our trips. And so there were places, Coach Sitton at Rusk worked with us one week. So there were people willing to help us. Now, they probably would continue to do that. But then the other side of me is I hate bothering. I mean, they've got games to worry
Right,
about. So
okay.
now this year, we travel with equipment.
Oh,
So on away games, we travel with, our medicine balls and our weight bars and our weights. And so when we get there, we get it all set up. We kind of create our own little weight room, and then we put the guys through it, and then we send them outside, and we go through our pregame warm up. So, so now we're kind of self sufficient with it, which is the best way because now we don't have to burden anybody else. Um, but it's great. Our kids love it. They've bought into it, which absolutely helps. Um,
and
so,
nothing more than like feeling jacked up as you're getting ready to go out there on the field. You just got all that blood just pumping right through you.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I can see that now. I would
Where you
never.
get the endorphins up and
Yeah,
going.
it just yeah, because once I step onto that white line, it's a total different mentality anyway.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but after being pumping up some weights, yeah, I could. I'm glad I didn't because I might have hurt somebody.
Well, that's interesting. I'm glad we stumbled into that, Coach.
Right.
That's an interesting
That-
tidbit that we learned here.
Yes, sir.
Uh, all right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We do have we're going to talk about uh, our opponent this week coming up. We also have a big happening tomorrow. Is the center tennis team begins the playoffs and the by-district team tennis round against Madisonville, and we have Coach Dykes here to talk about that, and that's something that we're going to cover. But we're going to go ahead and take a break. We're going to hear from Pizzeria and Sabine State Bank. You're watching the Rick Meeks Show live here on NetSN.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center. JBA Financial Services brings you Coach Talk, and there's a reason for that. John Black knows that when you're preparing for an important game, you need a plan, and they'd like to be a part of the details, the X's and O's of that plan. He's put together a good team, a coaching staff that would help you and your family get where they want to go. At JBA Financial Services, they're working to secure your family's future.
Hey, y'all got a dirty truck.
Well, then take it to Joe's Car Spa for a spa day.
At Joe's, they make 'em shine.
And they're standing by to work with the community.
They was elected best of Shelby County this year, and it's called Joe's, but it probably ought to be called Reed since Reed Grant owns it.
So, Billy Don, when it's time for your car or truck to have a spa day, where do you take it?
I don't know where.
The rich tradition of Farmer State Bank. In 1904, a handful of investors put up $25,000. From that initial investment, imagine the generations of lives that have been touched by Farmer State Bank.
Well, but I don't.
We're back. We're
Yeah,
talking.
We're back.
We're talking.
We don't have a Sabine State Bank ad loaded up, so we're going to have to talk about Steve Waters.
Well,
That's not hard, though.
that's not hard to do. And you talk about Steve Waters, but I mean, his whole staff is so pro customer. Every
Yeah.
time I go in to talk to Steve, there is a customer sitting and talking, and not always to Steve. It's to somebody. It feels like, I don't know, the lobby of your home, if your home had a lobby. But people feel very comfortable there, and that's why they do business with Sabine State Bank. And we appreciate their support of the athletic
Yeah.
program in this show.
And tennis.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tell me about Steve Waters at tennis,
the
Coach.
kid,
Well, I will tell you,
have you
the
has he
last
ever
time,
beaten you?
yes, the last time I was on the court officially with Steve was one evening. He has his Monday night group
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Sunday night. I can't remember
It's
which
Monday
night. It
night.
was a Monday night group,
I can never
and
go because I teach class to have this
and
show.
it just so happened that they had an odd number, and it wasn't anything going on with in the tennis world at that time, and I stayed and played, and then I regretted it ever since because he whooped me and he hadn't let me let me forget
my.
about it since. Yeah, yeah.
It's the first time Keaton and Jack Callan are my children. If you're watching this, there's an L in the column. We never.
Yeah, I didn't think that was. I don't. I just think he's been
It was
nice. I don't think that ever.
he and he no it
Was
was
it doubles?
Steve and Ortega. Yes, it was
Okay.
Well,
doubles.
okay.
Steve and
Well, okay.
Ortega.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I was playing with Grant McDonald, I think
Okay.
is who I played with.
Was he one of yours?
Yeah, he played. He didn't play all through high school, but he played middle school.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah.
Well, all right. But you're not blaming it on Grant.
No,
You're giving Stephen
no.
Ortega
Hey,
props.
that's right. Hey, they
That's right.
it went to a tiebreaker and everything.
That's
so
great.
but
Okay.
But they're like the Borg. Steven Ortega like the Borg. I mean, they don't even have to give signals. They
Yeah,
just
they've been.
they can just send each other
Yeah.
telepathically what they're going to do.
And there was a time I could win that match. I can't. I'm not even in the ballpark now. They've got
Oh.
both got so much better. But they're not playing tomorrow for the Biden District Championship. And your tennis team is. Thanks for coming by
I
tonight.
appreciate you having me.
Most people that are watching know the difference between team tennis and regular tennis. But go ahead and for those that are watching that may be football fans that don't follow tennis, what is
Sure.
team tennis?
Team tennis is very similar to most other team sports in that it's our school versus their school. The difference would be not everybody, all 12 kids are on the court at the same time,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
But our number one plays their number one, our number two plays their number two, and so on, all the way down on the boys and girls. And the team that wins 10 matches wins as a team. So we have both singles and doubles, and what's different about it is center will play Madisonville just like they would in football in a bracket.
Right.
And so in the spring, it's all individual.
Right.
So you
More
go
like
as
what
far
you're
as you
used
can
to.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so 19 matches are scheduled. And there's an aggressive fly. This guy is really an attack
You
fly.
should see the Yellow Jackets. Oh
Oh,
my goodness,
yeah.
at the tennis courts, and I hear the
Oh.
football stadium they have
Yeah.
their fair share too.
That's we're breeding them right. But 19 scheduled matches.
Correct.
And
Correct. 7 of them are doubles
okay.
matches, and that's what we'll start with tomorrow. Is 3 boys doubles matches, 3 girls doubles matches, and a mixed doubles.
And you're hoping to be at least four
If
four
we can-
wins
if
and 3
we-
losses.
If we can be up 4-3 after doubles, that usually will carry you into some singles, and if you just split the singles, that would go 10-9 your way. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
4-3
go.
4-3 or better would be a great deal
Well,
after doubles.
And I think I wish this would have been around when we were
Me
playing.
too.
But the coolest thing about it is that this is rarely decided by who your best players are. It's
Oh, yes,
decided by by the,
Close matches are going to be decided by some of your least experienced players.
yeah.
Yes. A lot of matches, especially like for example, this is a rematch of last year's by district,
Yes.
and it came down to the very last boys singles match on the court, and it was our line 5 or 6 boy, and it went their way. So a lot of times when it's an even match like this, it'll come down to the last, 1 or 2
Mhm.
kids on the court, and a lot
Yeah.
of times that's your line 5 or line 6 in boys or girls. So,
So your
they're
number
they're
one seed plays their number one seed, usually first. That's the
Yes.
first match after
Right.
double.
If it works out where as doubles come off, you're supposed to put on your highest available players that are available.
Right.
So let's say your line one is still playing doubles, but line two came off. Then we'll put the line two on.
Right.
And then as soon as the line one's available, that's when you go
Bam.
there.
And there's
But
not a whole lot of downtime.
no, there's not any downtime usually. They'll
But if you're playing a team that you're better than,
Mhm.
your number fifth and sixth seed they never take the court. Or if they do, they're playing.
in the playoffs, yes, you're correct in that as soon as a team reaches 10, they usually will call the match and
Right.
we'll shake hands and go home just because of the travel time and everything else involved. And but through the season, it's we play them all out because
Right,
we want to
sure.
get all the
Get
kids the
experience,
experience.
yeah.
Mhm.
But then you can just imagine for those of you that have never seen one, it's close. We were 4-3 coming out of doubles. The guys number 1 and 2 seeds they won, but the girls from your school didn't. So now it's like 6-5. And
Mhm.
so we play another couple and it comes down to both teams have won 8 and there's 3 games playing.
Mhm.
Well, everyone in the tournament has come to watch those matches.
Those last few matches.
Suddenly there's a
Right.
huge audience, bigger than you ever get for tennis.
Right. That's right.
And they all have rooting interest. You know, it's that we have to win
Right.
2 of these, and it's just exciting.
It can get that way. You wouldn't
Oh,
think
yeah.
so, where everything is supposed to be really quiet and polite, but
Mhm.
um, I don't know if you've been alive to some of these
I've generally been in the blimp. I can feel the energy
but
way
there's
up in the blimp.
we've had some good ones in the past.
Yeah.
We've had some good ones in the
It come
past.
right down to the end, and usually, like you said, Shires, the best players, the most experienced players, are already through, and now they're watching
Yeah.
their freshman counterpart.
Yeah. And that's
Oftentimes,
and then sometimes, right? So you could be one of your lines is winning, the other one may be losing, and it's a race.
Yeah.
I mean, can they get the win? Can the other guy,
Yeah.
the other team,
hurry, serve it, serve it.
yeah. But on the other side, you just got to hold on. You got to hold off.
Right.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many aspects to it.
Right.
It's so cool.
And in no other sport in that I can think of, certainly not in school, but really anywhere, is it possible that a freshman girl is playing, and if she wins, her male teammates also win
Mm-hmm.
or lose?
That's
Where
right.
I mean,
That's
you
right. It's
have
it is
the
boys and
other,
girls
yeah,
combined.
it's a
It is.
It doesn't happen anywhere
No,
else.
it is unique in that department
Yeah.
for sure.
And
For sure.
that's one of the things that I love about it.
Right.
We will carry this for
yes.
you to 1 o'clock tomorrow on NetSN. I'll be there, and I'm begging and coaxing Larry and Shires to take the blimp, and you'll be here or maybe there, but yeah, they will be running the scoreboard, so you'll know what's going on. We can only talk about one match at a time. Hopefully, the scores will be relatively accurate and up to date. But it is really something. It's an unlike anything else that you've ever seen. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of video of the games because we're moving everywhere. So it's mainly like radio with a visual scoreboard, ads, and interviews. But we'll see. Maybe we can work out some camera between now and then. We'll see. So we've done a lot more talking than you. Let's ask you some questions
Sure.
and let you visit.
Okay.
The team last year got in face, like you said, Madisonville was eliminated in by district. What's the difference between your team this year? What do you see that you like versus last year?
That's a great question. Last year's team, we were probably a little more senior heavy on the girls' side.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you recall, three of our top four girls made it to the state tournament individually
Yeah, in the
in
spring.
the
they were-
spring,
right.
and that was a girls
Legitimate.
singles and a girls doubles made it out, and so those girls graduated, and so fortunate for me though, I've got two more senior girls that are this year, and a junior and a sophomore that have all kind of stepped up and filled those roles so far this year.
Good.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how well they will do. But they've had a fairly strong fall, and then I've got a combination of on the boys' side some younger guys that have come in. I've got two freshman boys that are in the top 7
and 2 sophomores that are in the top 8. And, so we've got a good mix on the boys' side of some seniors. We've got 2 seniors, um, 2 juniors, 2 freshmen, and 2 sophomores is my top 8.
That's
So
good.
there's a pretty good combination on the boys' side as far as that goes. And so those guys are really starting to develop and progress. The only issue we've had is this year on the boys' side, is that we really haven't won against somebody that is a question mark.
Mm.
We've beaten the teams that we know we should beat, and then we've lost to the teams that we know they're probably a little bit stronger than us. And Madisonville to me is a question mark.
No.
And so
Okay.
I'm really curious to
Not
see how well
clearly
they.
better than us.
No,
From
on
than those guys, than those
yes,
players.
on paper we match up very, very well.
Okay.
And I think on both sides, boys and girls, on paper the matchups very, very well. So they might be just a slight nick a bit above us on the boys' side, and we might be a slight nick above them as far as ratings go.
Yeah.
Um, on the girls' side. So
We're the number 1 seed from our district, which
From
is
our
not
district.
a big tennis district, but
no,
that
no.
district is.
Yes. China Spring won that district, and they are also in our quarter on that bracket. And Madisonville finished 4th, and I looked at on paper their match, and so even though China Springs won, they had a lot of close matches.
Okay.
So I mean that district is just deeper
Yeah.
and a lot of close matches. So
So-
that's exactly what happened last year.
Work cut out for us.
Oh, it's definitely work cut out for us.
Yeah. From what I know about those younger guys on your team,
Mhm.
they're pretty committed. They're pretty serious.
They are very committed, and that's very encouraging for me just to look forward to, hey, these guys they just keep working at it and keep working at it, and even though they get frustrated and disappointed because when you're a young man, you want things to happen.
Right.
And in this sport, it just doesn't just happen.
That's right.
It's one of those things that you've just got to get experience from, and I hope that they just keep learning from it and keep developing, and I think tomorrow will be a big step for that.
Well, everybody get the word out. If I know it's hard to get off work and come to Hudson, but we're playing Madisonville
Yes,
at Hudson ISD. It's a good facility.
it is.
Yeah.
They've added courts and they've added.
Mhm.
I don't know when the last time you were there was, but they've added courts and a nice building up top with
Yeah.
a concession stand and restrooms and
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, it's
It's-
a nice place.
Nice place to go. He says the weather's going to be nice, but if
gonna
you
be
can't
beautiful.
go, if you're working and you just want to keep up with it, or if you want to really pay close attention, we will have it covered for you right here on NetSN. Before we let him go, thanks to Ace Hardware and Covington Lumber for being part of every Rough Rider broadcast. We sure appreciate that. Today, our sponsor of the week is Borders Poultry Supply. One of those guys is Zach Payne. He's not going to be competing with you, I don't think. He's a freshman.
He's a freshman, but he and about 3 other freshmen are right behind those 8 boys that I told you
Yeah.
about, and that's what I just keep.
Yes.
I'm excited for them
Yes.
too.
Future's looking bright.
Yes,
So
it is.
during football, they bring us the up close and personal segment, but during tennis, they bring us Zach Payne, who will be on the varsity soon enough. So we'll hear from them, and we'll come back to the pizzeria for more. In fact, I tell you what, we're probably not going to hear from them.
We're going
Instead, let me tell you about them. Let him tell you about them. Tell them about them.
about which one?
Borders Poultry.
Borders. It's kind of like it's the new Big Red Hardware store.
Yeah, that's the new big red
You got
store.
out on Shelbyville,
2 years
Ohio.
old now.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, I guess. But I just know. I mean, they got all kinds of stuff in there.
And it's a store, a top-notch store. But what they're doing is they built poultry houses all over now into Louisiana too.
Yeah.
One of the area leaders in that. So we're fortunate to have them as part of our team. Thank you. Remember, if you have supply needs for any of your poultry needs, they have it at Borders Poultry Supply. All right, we'll hear from some folks. We'll come back and we will scout the Carthage Bulldogs right after this.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
Aurora Concepts, Primary Care Center, and just behind it, Medical Specialist Center, is a team supervised by Dr. Jane Todd and led by Don Barnes. They're professionals. They provide good family care to everyone in the family. They're also your center for testing and vaccinations. When there's something wrong and you don't know what, call Aurora Concepts. At Hope Community Medicine, they believe that more than medicine is needed when providing quality care for their patients. With locations throughout East Texas, the vision is to give hope to those who seek a better life by caring for their body, mind, and soul, and not about their ability to pay. Through the network of staff and locations, Hope seeks to be primary provider of medical, dental, and behavioral health. Because the difference that Hope makes is the difference between night and day. Hope Community Health.
Everybody, welcome back. It's the Rick Meeks Show, live here from the pizzeria, brought to you by Steve Waters and Sabine State Bank. So, Coach, I was just talking about something. I was thinking, we're a little bit ahead of schedule. We'll get you out of here early so you can go watch the Saints.
Yes.
Now, that begs the question. I've been meaning to ask you this. I mean, like other than Law and Order and Jack McCoy, who I try to act like Jack McCoy in the courtroom, but other than that, I can't watch legal shows because it just drives me nuts because of things that happen that are unrealistic or whatever. I mean, what's it like? Because ours, like I do this 8 hours a day, so last thing I want to do is watch what I do when I get home. I mean, how's it work for you? I mean,
I don't think I
I-
could never not when I'm not watching the football.
but it's one thing, but we don't do it for a living.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you do that? Do you like a
You
like
gotta have
like
your
okay,
space to
like
just
yesterday,
decompress or something.
like yesterday when McDermott threw the ball 3 downs in a row and gave that ball back to the Texans with 3 timeouts at midfield with a field goal kicker that can probably
Kick it
kick a
forever.
70-yard field goal. You just go. Everybody looks at that and goes, "God, dummy." I mean, how often did you do that? You go.
I did
I
the same
can't
thing
believe
with
that guy
did the
did
same
that.
thing with Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions last year
yeah.
in the playoff.
I mean, are you able to enjoy it?
Yes, I do. I love watching it, and I will say I try not. I honestly can say I don't sit back and do that because I being in the profession,
Right.
I hear the other side of it, and I'm not going to be the coach that criticizes the coach
Right.
because when you're in that situation, you're making that decision for a certain reason. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not, but it's always in the best interest of the team.
Yeah.
And it's always easy then once it's over with to sit back and say, well, why the hell did he do that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And
always
so anyway,
money quarterback.
I
That's for sure. But
I do. That's all that's on my on the TV at my house. Plus, I mean, my boys. I mean, that's.
yeah.
I can promise you, they're at the house watching the Chiefs and the Saints right now. And as soon as I walk in the door, Beckett's gonna be, Dad, guess what? And
Yeah.
he's gonna give me a whole rundown
Oh,
of what I've missed. But no, I do. I love sitting there and watching it.
Do you ever get any ideas?
Of course.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of course. I mean, that's.
Believe that.
I think that's pretty common for all of us football coaches that watch it. If you don't, then you're not truly watching it. You're just kind of being a spectator. But
It's kind of
but that's the thing. I mean, what all the coaches say. There's not anything that's invented. There's things that you go. I mean, it's been done in some form or fashion. You might do it out of a different formation, but the schemes are there. And so you for sure get ideas and study it and watch it and go back and watch it. And so no, I guess it's different. It's different than maybe kind of what you're saying because that's That's what I'm gonna do.
I know,
I'm gonna
but
watch.
say like myself, like I've been calling games for 20 years, and I sit here and I say I will never say guess what a coach does because that's his decision there. I may not agree with whatever, but hey, coach, you made that decision. That's on you,
Well,
and I'm gonna agree with you because that's
well,
the
there's
coach.
some decisions you look at and you go, yeah, there are, but there occasionally,
Sometimes you go,
occasionally there's some where you just go, I don't understand that. I don't understand.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
McCarthy, the Cowboys,
yeah.
some of the challenges that he does, I mean, it just doesn't make it. I mean,
All right.
it doesn't make any sense. Because sometimes you go, even if you win it,
Yeah.
so what?
Yeah.
Anyway, but I mean, like I said, the one exception for me is Jack McCoy. I love Jack. I love me some Jack McCoy on Law and Order,
Mm-hmm.
and I will think about something. I'll go, what would Jack do in this situation? But anyway,
That was my favorite Law and Orders, by the
yeah.
way, too. Yeah, I would check with that.
So let's go ahead and turn. We've got a little ball game on Friday night. Has I mean, in my opinion, it has huge implications for the district championship.
Everything along the way. Yeah.
And of course, we're going up traveling 23 and a half miles north to Carthage, Texas. Tony Dorsett's going to be there. We're going to try to get an interview with him. Uh, he played running back for the Dallas Cowboys. So
Is that
in
where he
case
played? I
yeah,
wasn't for sure where he played. I barely even heard of that guy.
right. But anyway, so let's just get right to it and break it down. We want to start on the defensive side of the football. I mean, what Carthage is over the years past, they've been kind of multiple. I mean, they do a lot of different things.
They do. They're going to give you a lot of formations. They're going to give you a lot of pre-snap movements. They're going to shift, and then they're going to motion. They're going to put their skill guys in every different spot. They're going to move them around. They do all that to run, mid zone, inside zone, with some limited gap scheme stuff, and then they're going to go play action pass. Quarterback's going to be under. Quarterback's going to be in the gun. Um, with Jet, they do not run him very much, which they haven't really ran their quarterbacks a whole lot anyway. But the rest of the skill kids are going to touch it, and they do a really good job of masking their concepts by putting them in different formations, different personnel groupings. They're not stagnant with their formations. They're going to show you something out of the huddle, and then they're going to move to something else, and then their chances are they're going to motion again, and then they're going to run the play, and they do a really good job of mixing that up. So they're slightly throw it a little bit more than they run it, but very very balanced in the things that they do. They do them well. They have really good players that they do it with.
Yep.
And so, offensively, you just defensively versus them offensively, you've just got to find a way to match the physicality at the line of scrimmage and do your best to try to get them into second and long and third down situations.
Yeah, when we had Coach Huff last week, I mean, we talked about, I made some kind of offhand, comment, like, people really don't want to throw the ball against us, and he goes, I mean, Carthage is going to test us, right? I mean,
They're going to throw it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you've done up to this point or what problems you might show. They're going to throw the football, and Scott's always been that way. But Jet's no different than any other quarterback that Scott has had in his offense since he's been there. He's very successful throwing the ball, and they're going to put the ball in the air. They're going to get it downfield. They're going to get it out of his hands quick. I mean, they do it a bunch of different ways. They move the launch point around, so he's not always just going to be right behind the center. They have kind of a naked pass where it's not a full rollout to where he's not completely exposed. He's just going to move it, maybe behind the center. He's going to move it between the guard and the tackle after his play fake. So they're gonna move the launch point around to where he's not always in the same spot, to where you can time your pressures or pinpoint your pressures at the angle that you want them to attack him at, and they do a good job of that. So no, they're not going to worry about that and just start handing it off, even though you can't hand it to the best running back in East Texas.
Right.
KJ's a great player, and rightfully so. He's done a good job, and he deserves the recognition that he's getting as well.
Yep. Now on the defensive side for Carthage, I mean, they had some guys they were youngsters and they were playing really well. Now those guys are now going to be upperclassmen. I mean, the defense has been pretty salty so far this year.
The three down linemen are very talented. I know two of the three. I'm pretty sure all three of them. One of them is kind of bounced back and forth. I don't know if it's due to injury or something there, but they're seniors up front. Two of them are 3-year starters. Um, really good at linebacker as well, and they just it's kind of the mindset that we've talked about on here many times with our kids that kind of fires me up, that they're kind of starting to understand how you play defense, and they have that mentality, like they take it personal if somebody scores.
Right.
If you do score, they're going to make some adjustments, and they're like, all right, that was it, that was your one opportunity. And they just take a lot of pride in playing defense. Coach Preston does a good job of taking certain things away and then letting his guys go play. Um, they time their pressures at different parts of the game, but most of the time you're gonna get just a base defense, and they're gonna line up and go play, and they're just gonna say we're better than you are, and we're not gonna let you move the ball. So once again, line of scrimmage is gonna be huge. We've got to be able to establish a run game. Um, I think we can create some opportunities in the air, but we're only going to be able to do that if we're able to
Right.
do some things at the line of scrimmage and run the football. If we can't run the football, then those other opportunities won't be there, because then they can adjust and just take that away from us. So
Coach, in a type of game like this, I know that you try to figure out all kinds of different strategies, try to figure out the best way to help your team get up and down the field, and being kind of an up tempo type of offense. Is it beneficial to you maybe slow down that tempo a little bit to help go against that defense, or does that help you guys maybe take an extra little bit to see what's going on? Does that help you make some of the things out there to help you?
we've got to use it more of a strategy this week as opposed to our identity. Because at the end of the day, let's face it, if we're tempo, and let's say we're 3 and out, and then we get a few things going, and then maybe we're 3 and out, and we get something going, and then we're 3 and out. At the end of the day, if we're playing, let's say we're playing good defensively, if we give Carthage on offense, if we end up giving them 14, 15 possessions, eventually, we can be playing really good defensively,
still
but
gonna score
eventually
quite a bit.
they're still going they're going to get their points.
Right.
So, we've got to be careful about how we use that. It still is a part of us, so we're not just going to go away from it. It's what's allowed us to have success this year as well as the last 2 years. But I do think we have to be smart about when we utilize it and how often we utilize
Yep.
it. And so we've got a few things there that we've got to be careful with, and we've got to use to our advantage.
Right. And also going back to some of the stuff too, coaches. You talk about their defense. Are they going to come at you with a straight defense? But I mean, are they kind of like they're going to try to find out one or two little key things that you guys do the best to try to take that away, and then that's how they make that adjustment around there. But is that how they kind of bring their defense?
Yeah, no, that's the mark of a lot of the good defenses in this area, and they're no different. That's what they're going to do. They're going to do what they can to take away our 2 to 3 best things, and then just defense everything else. And they do a really good job of that.
Right.
What did Kilgore do that gave them success?
They were able to run the football, and that's what I was saying. We're going to have to be able to establish the run, and do things and have some success at the line of scrimmage, and that's what Kilgore was able to do. They did a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be the
Right.
key against them.
Yeah,
If we want to have any success offensively.
I think against Carthage, you got to make sure that you try to keep as many out of that box as you possibly can. So you got to give them the looks that they're going to have to. You want that running game, but you got to spread it out a little bit, get as many of those guys out of that box, and then let your front go against their front and win at that trench. That's what's going to have to be there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I will say a couple years ago they played us with a 4-man box, and we still didn't control the line of scrimmage. But hey, that was 3 years ago. So
Right.
We're better this year.
we've grown up a lot since then.
That's right.
But and here's the thing with them, with the success they've had, and the way you go about the week. You've got to get your kids to. There's two things with teenagers nowadays, and I guess this might just go to the segment of what's on your mind. But there's two things with kids, whether it's this week or any week. But it's the fear of judgment and the fear of failure. And it's hard for kids to say, okay, I'm going to go practice as hard as I can today. I'm going to do everything I can and prepare myself for Friday, and I'm going to leave it out all on the field. And if we don't win, we don't win. They're the better team, and I did everything I could. Well, now that puts them up to be judged by their peers, and so it's easier for them to say, "Well, I just didn't try very hard, so we didn't win."
Right.
And that's where you've got to get kids out of that mindset, and that's where you're at this week. That's where you're at any week, but especially this week when you're going up a team where you look over the course of however many years now. What is their record? Who knows? But there's not many that have taken them down.
Right.
And so a lot of times you have kids that are worried about fear of failure and fear of judgment. They don't want to just lay it out there and then fail. And that's that's just where we're at with teenagers. It's not just here. It's across the state of Texas, and it's also across the all over.
Right. We as fans and as the community need to support these young men, and because that's what they need to go out there and put it all out there and see what happens.
Yeah. Because I mean, you can sit there and you say, well, we go in there and say, well, they're this and that, but you look at it on paper and but go play the game. Right. Anything can happen any Friday night, any Saturday, anything. You play the best game you can play, and then you right there. But with a chance to win it at the end, either team. Right. So just go do it all, and get my support. That's for sure.
Yeah, but that is what you talk about. That is a significant thing.
Right.
It may be the number one thing we've talked about it for years. That may be the number one thing to have to overcome.
Right.
Because nobody wants to be.
Can't go in there and go, oh man,
nobody wants to. Well, it's not just that. Nobody wants to be made fun of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And, football aside, I mean, let's go to math. Teacher's up at the front working through a problem, and she's asking for participation, and everybody just sits there. Nobody answers. Nobody wants to speak up because they're worried about saying something wrong and somebody laughing. And it's sad. That's where we're at with our youth and society. They're scared to be judged, and they're scared to fail because we've created that now. Instead of pumping encouragement into our teammates, into our community, into our schools, so it's just created this effect. Now it's easy for me, like we've talked about before, human nature. We just want to survive. We just want to get by. We want people to leave us alone. Don't say nothing to us. I'm going to go from here to here, get food, go to work, go back home. If nobody speaks to me, I'm okay. And that's not athletics. That's not success. And so that's the mindset that we've got to continue to work on and continue to flip with our youth and with our kids and with our students and in our schools.
Because on the other side of the coin, we're playing with house money, right? We go out there, we can go shock the world, win this game, right?
Because Vandy, my daggum Vandy boys.
This is the week that all went up crazy.
Right.
Could be that week
that happened 1 week too soon. See, now everybody's on high alert.
That's right. That's right.
But and say it ends up being like a 27 to 24 even. You come out on losing, but still you went out there and you gave it everything you got, and you went out there, and if you come up even just a short loss there right there, that's still respectable going against that team or whatever. And even if it's 27-24 center over Carthage, that's big time respect coming to you no matter what.
But a big fan of the show, my friend Chris Spruill, who often comes on and says derogatory things about me but he said, Shires, he says, I don't know if you'll say this or not. He says, but I'm predicting that Center's going to win that damn game. Oh. He said, I don't know if you're going to put that on the air or not, but I'm putting it on the air. Chris Spruill said we're going to win. He said he's kept up with this program ever since we played, and he has said that this defense, he is so impressed with this defense, and he thinks the defense is going to carry the night.
They're going to have to do it. That's for sure. Hey, put some pressure on us right back there. Get him off his timing a little bit, and you can really find out how bad you can mess up that offense a little bit. Yep. No defense.
That's right.
Where are we at now, man? Where are we on?
I think we're going to take a break.
Are we going to take a break? Okay, we'll take a break here. Whew. A lot of good talking there. All right, we'll be right back here. Brought to us by Sabine State Bank. Are you going to grab another piece of pizza? You wait for me to go to commercial?
No.
Sparky D's Bargain Store. Who are we? We're an online auction store on Facebook. Find our page on Facebook. There you'll be a big winner and save yourself lots of money. We're on Facebook only for our weekly auctions. We're located in Center, Texas. Check us out on Facebook. It's Sparky D's Bargain Store, where we will save you more.
Hey, y'all got a dirty truck.
Well, then take it to Joe's Car Spa for a spa day.
At Joe's, they make them shine.
And they're standing by to work with the community.
They was elected best of Shelby County this year. It's called Joe's, but it probably ought to be called Reed since Reed Grant owns it.
So, Billy Don, when it's time for your car or truck to have a spa day, where do you take it?
I don't know where.
At Watson & Sons, their family serves your family. It begins with their facilities, their inviting and warm chapel, and their elegant lobby, and their unique product room where you can shop for the choices your tribute requires. They've been serving Sons since Scott built it in 1998, but their family has been serving you for over a century.
At Hope Community Medicine, they believe that more than medicine is needed when providing quality care for their patients. With locations throughout East Texas, the vision is to give hope to those who seek a better life by caring for their body, mind, and soul, and not about their ability to pay. Through the network of staff and locations, Hope seeks to be primary provider of medical, dental, and behavioral health. Because the difference that Hope makes is the difference between night and day. Hope Community Health.
Chef's Barbecue and Centers, open Tuesday through Friday, 10:30 to 5, and Saturdays, 10:30 to 2. Now, you can call in your order to Chef's Barbecue, you can come through the drive-thru, or bring the family down for a nice family dining experience for barbecue so good.
No, we're not going to say that.
All right, come on down to the center and enjoy some great barbecue at Chef's. How's that?
That's good, thank you.
Barbecue so good, make you want to slap your mama.
Boy, that's not on the script. I told you don't be saying that.
All righty, we're back here. Where we at, man? What we got here on this list? Chris did here. What we got?
Well, Chris wanted us to talk about the other teams, the other matchups in the district, because we're everybody's starting district play.
Right.
Yep, everybody's in there. Obviously, it's us in Carthage Friday. You have Athens and Brownsburg, and then Rusk and Bullard. And so those are the three matchups. And I'm not sure home, and I think Athens plays at home, and I think Bullard goes to Rusk. So that's the matchups, and I think it's going to be a pretty competitive district. I think for the most part, you're looking at 4 to 5 of us kind of up there, and Brownsburg's played well, so we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be a very competitive district. It's going to be a fun 5-week span here, and we'll see how it all plays out.
And not only will we have the center game, but I think our other Netison guys will have the Rusk game.
Yeah, we're covering Rusk.
Rusk will be available too.
And then when we go play Rusk, we are drawing the card, so we will be covering Rusk.
All right.
Yeah, they come here the last game.
Right.
Yeah, they come here for senior night.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll have that one. Okay, there we go. What else we got?
We will, of course, always remain completely neutral
Okay.
in our.
Okay. Well, I have to ask, because it's been the weekly question, and we're getting closer. 10:15. I'd really like to be in the new activity center for some volleyball action. And we're getting closer, Coach.
We're a week closer. Yes, sir.
A week closer.
I think we're right there.
Right there.
I really do.
That's awesome. I know it's going to be awesome, and but I know I've been asking every week, but I know it's something everybody's looking forward to, and I know it's going to be good too.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think 10:15
should be okay.
Is a high possibility.
Right. Bullard at center on volleyball action that night. We're going to be there and setting up the new stuff
next Tuesday. Yep.
So I invited Pierce to come over to my house yesterday to watch the Texans, and I prepared a cheese ball. It was a jalapeno cheese ball, and you know where I got the stuff from? Mooney's Emporium.
Really?
And it was great. My neighbor came over, my mother-in-law and father-in-law. They ate. They just decimated the cheese ball. Man,
well, I'm busy. With Sparky D's is open noon to 6 on Sunday. Everybody comes by, picks up their stuff because I don't charge them tax, and they're trying to get it in there. So,
but Pierce, you would have loved that cheese ball, man. It was good stuff. You get a little package of stuff from Mooney. You get a little package of stuff from Mooney's Emporium, and then you get some cream cheese, some other stuff, and you just mix it up
all together.
They're like my mother's like, that's delicious.
Did you put any of that raspberry jalapeno jelly on it?
No, you're putting jelly on it. This is just the stuff. You're putting jelly on it. This is just the stuff.
Okay.
And she said, "Did you make that?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am. Home."
Made from scratch.
That's Mooney's Emporium.
Mooney's Emporium. There we go. All right, so we did those two.
Oh, yeah,
so we're gonna move on with the bottom one there too.
Well, our director wants some volleyball.
Yeah. Volleyball. I know that. Like I said, I know where say center's going to be Center is at Hudson tomorrow night, and then Center at Rusk on Friday evening is where the Lady Rough Riders are going to be.
Yes, sir. Currently 0-2 in district. Played really well against Palestine last Tuesday. Did not play as well Friday against Madisonville, but back at it tomorrow. And both games this week are on the road. And like we just said, hopefully next Tuesday we will be in the new gymnasium against Bullard.
There we go.
Very good.
And cross country is doing really well
Cross country, district cross country is Thursday. They ran at Lufkin this past week and won it. The boys won the meet. And so once again, they're running really well. So junior high and high school district is Thursday. High school boys, high school girls will run in the morning. Junior high boys, junior highs will run in the afternoon, starting at 3 o'clock. All of that will be at Hudson. So we're making a few trips to Hudson cross country. So
Right. Right. And just in case you just tuned in, 1 p.m. tomorrow, we will be covering the Center Rough Rider team tennis by district matchup. Chris Wallington will be there with his expert and knowledgeable coverage of everything that happened.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, man. And we're moving on to something to smile about here. Wendy, now, if you don't, I like Wendy's Family Dental. I've had to have, I have a implant tooth here, and I've had it for a long time, and it came undone. So first place I went to go was so I didn't look crazy with a big old spike sticking in my face. I went to Wyndham Family Dental, and Dr. Wyndham got me in there and hooked it up. And that afternoon, I was smiling again.
That's right.
There we go. I love my smile. So thanks, Dr. Wyndham.
Yeah, I've got some work to be done there here in the next couple of weeks, but I wouldn't.
And that's what kills me too. I don't mind going to this. I've been going to this most of my life. I don't mind going. It's painful, whatever. I've been around some of the biggest and most burliest men in my life, and I've never seen those big burly guys. They scared enough, but they will not go to a dentist. That kills me. Go to the dentist because you know what, folks. Going to the dentist and if you take care of your oral health, it helps take care of the entire health of your body. Right there. Just telling you. Just telling you. Just say.
Yeah, there we go.
Just say.
Well, I'll start with something to smile about. It's OU weekend. It's OU week coming up. University of Texas.
I was glad that OU got beat last weekend.
Big Tex.
Yeah. So
and it is
hanging out at the fair with Big Tex.
Yeah.
Right. I guess it is 8:21.
The Red River
PM.
Are they still playing it at the old Cotton Bowl?
They still play at the old Cotton Bowl.
Good.
Yeah. It's well, I mean that's nostalgic, but it's interesting getting in and out of that place.
Yeah.
But you can go get you a corn dog. But baby, it's 8:22 now, and OU still sucks.
Oh. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Matter of fact, I was at a convenience store here in town, and I saw some folks from the Oklahoma area, and I said, "Hey, I'm from Oklahoma." And talked to them for a second, and then they real loud in the party said, "Boomer!" Real loud in the party said, "Boomer Sooner!" I was like, "You better watch out now. You in Deep East Texas," and I wouldn't get too loud with that right there.
All right, Coach, what's something to smile about?
Oh, I think one thing that this past week, being up at the post, I'm pretty excited about the type of environment we have at our home games now.
Yeah,
that was kind of the topic that a lot of people brought up, and so our tailgate atmosphere into in game and just the excitement with the music, and he is doing a great job with that, and so anyway, it's a pretty neat atmosphere, and so I'm excited about that. It's great for our kids to be able to have a home field environment, something that they're proud of, something that they take pride in, and so that's pretty cool. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It was neat having like I said, I came up here for a little bit on Friday, and stopped by 10 and stopped by 10 to 12 people, and that's all they talked about, and so that's pretty cool. That fires me up.
I done warned you, Coach. If you're gonna go to Walmart, you better use the bathroom and eat before you go.
That's it. Yeah.
Because
incognito. That's it.
Right. Because folks are excited and want to talk. Yeah, they still suck.
They're still terrible. Okay, there you go. My thing to smile about it, man, is the fans, because not only for Center, but for all the things of NetSN, because I tell you what, folks, it has just exponentially gotten so much bigger since we started last year of everything we've done, the Center broadcast, the Pineywood broadcast. I just want to say thank you. You guys make me smile every time I get done with the broadcast, get to check out how many folks have been enjoying what we've been able to do, and it's just a blast to bring it to you guys. And I just want to say thank you. It just makes me smile that the fans are excited and happy. And I know we're not the perfect and we're not the best, but I tell you what, we have a doggone good time and we enjoy doing it. But it's because
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
All right, buddy, welcome back. It's the Rick Meeks show with
Rick Meeks show?
with
Counselor Stephen Shires. I'm just Chris. See you next week. But for now, the coach has left the house.
Bye-bye.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Last night. God bless America. God bless our troops. And God bless each and every one of you.